Energy transfers. This video is a guide to the four main energy transfers that take place, transferring energy from one store into another. We have mechanical, electrical, by heating and by radiation. So let's look at each one in a little bit of detail. So first of all, we have mechanically transferred energy. In this case, it is by the action of a force. So we could have a pendulum, which is a mass on a string. The pendulum is able to have energy in its gravitational potential store transferred into the kinetic store. This is by the action of the force, which is its weight. We can also have a man pushing a box. In this case, it is simply the push causing a transfer of energy from the chemical store of the man into the kinetic store of the box. Next, at the bottom left, we have the mechanical transfer, which causes an increase in temperature. We have an angle grinder grinding a piece of metal. As this happens, there is a force of friction between the angle grinder and the metal. This causes both to increase in temperature. So we've got energy going from the kinetic store of the rotating blade into the thermal store of both the angle grinder blade and the metal that it's grinding. And finally, we have a spring on the right. In this case, we have the elastic potential store and the kinetic store. So if the spring is tightly sprung, it has energy in the elastic potential store, and this can be transferred into the kinetic store, and you will see then that it is moving. Next, we have electrically. We've got a battery and a bulb. In this case, the chemical store of the battery decreases whilst the thermal store of the bulb increases. Work is being done by an electric current, and so this is the transfer of energy electrically. By heating. In this case, the thermal store of one object decreases whilst the thermal store of another object increases. This is a transfer by heating. This can be done by conduction, which is the example on screen, or it can be done by convection. Finally, we have by radiation. Now, you can also term this heating by radiation because it has the effect of increasing the temperature of objects. But the energy from the sun, from the nuclear potential store in the sun, is able to be transferred to Earth by radiation. This is generally infrared, light, and ultraviolet. This radiation is a wave, and it is able to transfer the nuclear potential store into the thermal store of the Earth. You may notice this on a hot sunny day. Even with your eyes closed, you can tell the location of the sun. This is because the radiation from the sun is incidenting your skin, and when it does so, that increases the temperature of your skin, and you are able to determine the location of the sun.